We are the Lab Doctors. I'm Amanda.
I'm Dorothy.
And I'm Zhao Yong.
We are biomedical researchers who realized we still have a lot to learn about science.
So why not join us on this quest?
Welcome back to the Lab Doctors podcast. So this is part 2 of sensory memory. So now that we're all experts on sensory memory, and if you're not, go back and listen to the full rundown on sensory memory in last week's episode.
I feel like our listeners are hearing this 1 week apart. I'm hearing this like 2 minutes apart and I still don't remember.
Yeah. So anyway, we get back to this week's topic, which is echoic memory or auditory memory, and specifically how it relates to music and song. So let's start with how echoic memory works. So this is a very simplified version of how our brain processes echoic memory.
It's echoic memory.
Oh my god, I was so confused, but yes, that's one of the ways. Okay, so when you whisper Amanda into the mic, it starts with the auditory nerve in our ears, which sends sounds to your brain via an electrical signal. The processed signal is then held in the primary auditory cortex, or PAC for short. And this PAC is present in both brain hemispheres. So fun fact, the opposite PAC will hold the information that you hear. So if you hear something in your left ear, your right PAC will hold the memory, and vice versa. So after 2 to 4 seconds, the echoic memory moves into your short-term memory, where your brain processes the information and gives meaning to the sound. So things that can affect echoic memory include age, neurological disorders, substance abuse, and also the characteristics of the sound. So say for example, if you whisper my name versus saying it or screaming it, it will affect my echoic memory. So the other characteristics of sound can be duration, frequency, intensity, and language. So research has shown that hearing words associated with sounds rather than just the sound alone can also aid in memory. So here's where we start talking about music and memory. So before we even talk about emotion, I just want to ask, do you have any experience where music or a song is so closely linked to a specific memory? Should I go first?
Sure.
Okay, so for me, every time I listen to Sam Smith's debut album, I'm always like back to sitting in my honours year lab and loading PCR plates. And like every time I listen to like almost any song on that album, I'm just there sitting there loading PCR plates. So that's a song or music that really is linked to a specific memory.
Right. I think I get what you mean. It's like some songs I can't listen to anymore because if I listen to it, I'll be like transported back. Yeah.
To a time or like a period of time?
A period of time, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll be transported back to a period of time.
The national anthem, does it bring you back
to primary school?
Primary school?
No, not really.
Really?
On National Day or so.
It never hits me for National Day. It always hits me to like how I need to sing, and I'm like...
No, it hits me on National Day, but I'll be like, ha, I don't need to stand up and salute anymore. I don't need to sing along. I can just sit on my couch and listen to it, not like in primary school I had to stand.
You're supposed to be patriotic and stand up and sing as well.
It's not that I'm not, but like, let me just listen to it as a song.
So that's one of the cool things about how people use Spotify. So I mean, I don't know if everyone does this, but this is how I use Spotify. Like I always save songs that I like at that point in time. So then when it gets to like too many songs, then I'll just start another playlist. Although now I'm doing it by the year. So like every time I shuffle a certain playlist, it kind of brings me back to that season or those moments in my life. And yeah, so I don't know if anyone wants to do that. It's quite cool actually.
Oh yeah, I do that now. After
Year by year?
Amanda's. Yeah, I do year by year.
Oh yeah,
Can you really remember, man?
So I started 2 years back, and then recently like I played the 2 years back one. I was like, holy shit, it kind of does transport you back.
But will you like remember like which playlist this song belongs to?
Oh no, yeah, I don't think I'll be able to, but like
it's just the vibes of the playlist when you like shuffle it and then you listen to everything and you're like, oh.
Yeah.
Suddenly I'm like in high school again, or like I'm in first year uni. That's how it feels for me.
True.
Yeah, so it's actually quite cool. It's quite a good walk down memory lane. If anyone wants to try it, you can start now, and hopefully Spotify doesn't go bankrupt so that all this data isn't lost.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, oh my god, because then I read this article online which there was a glitch or something, and then like everyone was like, oh my god, you better not lose all my playlists. I will literally die. Someone commented and I'm like, literally?
You do know now, like literally the definition has a
change.
literal, like informally meant to be figurative.
Yeah.
If not, people will be like,
words have meaning.
I'm just like...
Okay, so anyway, back to music and memory. Music has been an important mnemonic device for thousands of years. So think of like when you learn the alphabet and we learn it by saying ABC.
ABC.
No, one of my trigger songs. Please stop singing. LMLO. LMLO.
Okay, so music helps provide a rhythm and a rhyme and sometimes alliteration, which helps us unlock information with cues. So again, this is like the moving object, like how we perceive moving objects. So it's not just your auditory memory that is working when you listen to a song. It's also like pattern recognition and like structure that aids in memory and recall.
Right.
I'm just thinking of a song that my maths teacher taught us to remember a maths formula. X equals negative B plus or minus square root B squared minus 4AC divided by 2A.
Oh, it's the what formula?
Can't remember what formula it is, but I just remember that formula.
Which is like a very important example.
I feel like we used it in lab before, like once. For whatever reason, maybe we were just talking about something random, but like...
Yeah, so like outside of like putting a tune to it, it just is words, you know? But when you put a tune to it, then like suddenly, yeah.
Do you remember the 150 Pokemon? Because of the Pokemon song.
Is there a song?
Yeah,
my
there
God.
is.
Oh, I thought Dorothy was going to sing it.
It's not in order.
It's not in order, but you remember the 150.
Yeah.
Okay, so like since you're talking about like all these things and studying just now, so what about the effect of music or sound on concurrent mental processing? So like listening to a song while studying. What are your experiences with this?
So for me, I study with music, but I know it affects me, my ability to study. Like, I used to think it helps me focus, but actually it distracts me a lot, I notice.
Yeah, I need complete silence when I'm studying.
How about instrumental music?
Even those don't. As in, now I have a curated playlist that's like supposed to be for when I'm supposed to do work. So I feel like it gets me in that mental space to do work, but I feel like it doesn't help.
Yeah, you start wanting to sing the song, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, it works for many people.
So I can only listen to music like last time when I was studying math because I don't have to process the words.
Yeah.
Because I'm processing numbers.
If you're
But
doing
then,
like what's
like
that?
bio. Oh my God. I can't listen to music when I study bio.
I feel like if it's something like doing lab work that's very routine.
Data analysis. Like
Yeah. So like
I listen to music.
When I'm drawing the
yeah, same.
Yeah.
I would just listen to music when I'm like doing data analysis. Okay, so there were a few like themes that we talked about when we were talking about like how music affects us. But there are two perspectives on the proposed effects of background music on cognitive processes. So the first one is cognitive capacity model. So you remember how you said that like listening to music actually distracts you? So this is what this model is talking about. So there's a limited pool of resources available for cognitive processing at any one moment. So if the concurrent task exceeds the capacity, interference occurs. So only a portion of the information is processed and performance deteriorates. So example, you are listening to a song whilst you are like trying to recall like a list or like a concept or something.
Yeah.
If the concurrent tasks exceed your cognitive capacity, your performance for both will decrease. So another theory behind this is the arousal mood hypothesis. So you remember how you said sometimes you listen to songs that will get you in the mood to work.
Yeah.
So this is where it comes in. So listening to music affects your task performance by positively influencing arousal and mood, thus giving you motivation to like do the work and everything.
Yeah.
So overall, the data is a bit conflicting, but it does appear that listening to background music interferes with tasks that involve memory, especially for verbal items. For non-verbal items, however, a recent study investigated the ability to remember human faces in the context of 4 different types of sounds. So the participants were like shown a lot of like human faces, and it was either like in silence, so that's their control. So sounds of nature, which is supposed to be peaceful and relaxing, joyful music, or emotionally touching music. And they found that auditory background interfered with memory recall, like so any sounds interfered with memory recall except for emotionally touching music. So researchers suggest that touching music is able to bind visual properties with emotionally charged information, which is music, therefore resulting in enhanced memory.
Yeah.
Wait, so the emotionally touching music helps?
Yes. So
Helps
like
more than the rest?
No. So like, okay, so they first analyze it with silence versus like auditory background sounds, right? and they found that silence is like better than like the nature sounds and the joyful music. Whereas like emotionally touching music and silence had like no significant difference in remembering the faces.
Yeah, the emotionality of the music compensates for the distracting aspect of music.
So what are your experiences with music or songs in terms of memory and emotion?
What do you mean?
Is there any specific song that evokes a strong emotion in you, or like so it makes you happy or makes you sad or melancholic or whatever?
No, sad all the time.
Oh, yes, please elaborate.
No, but mostly I think sad leh. Any
Same.
happy music. I don't know. I've never felt like a need to party when I hear party music, you know. Never wanted to like jump up and dance. Maybe that's just me being soulless. But
I want to say, my husband and I, when we watch like this particular Japanese YouTuber, right? He's got Kaneko. All his YouTube videos have a certain format and they play like certain songs like da 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 da. Then after that we start like dancing. It's just like there's a happy song and then he's like talking about his food. Yeah, so I guess that makes me happy.
Yeah, so one song that has been getting me recently is like this Mumford and Sons song, Forever. And like every time I hear that song, I'm always crying because that's like the Ted Lasso.
Play it now, I want to see you cry.
Oh, I don't want everyone to cry. Yeah, but basically like there's like just a lot of songs that like, oh my god, I'm you, that make me want to cry. I actually have a playlist
to make me cry.
to make me
same.
to make sure I feel the emotions.
When I feel like I'm a bad person, I'll play it and I'll cry. I'm like, yes, I'm a bad person.
Yeah, so like TV soundtracks, like those songs like get me because suddenly I'm like watching that scene again, even though like I'm just listening to the music.
Yeah, so imagine if like next time when we are watching shows, we can smell.
Oh my gosh,
Oh.
it will be like so much.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for the day where they can transmit smell over your computers.
Yeah, but also like then I'm like, oh, but I don't really want to smell like
Shit.
you know if I CSI or like that like an back alleyway, and I'm like, I don't
No,
really
but
want
it
to
will
smell
really
that.
help you. Like it will enhance the whole
The experience.
thing.
Probably, yeah.
And then they cannot lie about it. They'll be like, oh, this is so smelly. But then I'll be like, no, it smells fine.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good with like sound and visual.
Maybe you can like make the smell like intensity minus
Less,
like
yeah.
divide by 10.
Yeah.
Okay, so as mentioned in the previous human faces study, strong emotions help encode experiences in the brain and turns them into lasting memories. So encoding experiences here means like processing the information.
Okay.
So music activates the entire limbic system, which as you may remember involves processing of emotions and controlling memory. So emotion has been shown to be a memory enhancer, where studies have shown that enhanced recall was observed for pleasant and stimulating events. So where does music come in? So a study in BMC Neuroscience reported that musical memory was strongly related to rated attractiveness, so like how much you like the song, and experience stimulation, so like how much arousal or like mood arousal there is. So in addition, emotion also enhances memories for verbal and pictorial material. So music, or specifically emotional music, is strongly linked to our autobiographical memory and is involved in our own self-perception. So autobiographical memory is like your memory of events in your life and things like that. Okay, so physiologically, listening to music, even passively, so like in the background, activates many psychological functions, including emotion, memory, attention, and so on, and is located in an overlapping brain network, which is why all these things are like so closely related. So, scientists believe that events, emotions, or a song get bound together in the part of the brain called the medial prefrontal cortex, and that's how we link all these like sensations. Okay, but basically just like emotional songs, you have to actually like it for it to be like linked to a memory. But if you hate the song, you are less likely to remember it.
Right.
But if I hate the song, then I'll remember why I hate the song. Like, maybe because it's a bad memory.
Okay, so I guess my question here is like, how often are like songs related to bad memories for you?
Very little.
Good question. I'm trying to think of an example where I
Very
hate a
little.
song.
Yeah, so when I read this article, I was like, oh, actually for me, it's very little. Like songs are usually like linked to some, maybe not good per se, like but bittersweet and all those things. It's not like
Bittersweet,
always
yeah.
bad. And it's always soundtrack to a song that I like, barely ever to a song that I dislike. Okay, so why should we care? Or why do scientists care? Like, why are they even doing this research? So the close link between memory, emotion, and music actually proves very valuable in cognitive performance and Alzheimer's research. Okay, so in terms of cognitive performance, they looked at stroke patients and like the recovery process after that. And they found that music listening can facilitate recovery of cognitive functions and mood after a stroke. So recovery of verbal memory and focused attention improved significantly in the group that listened to their favorite music compared to the group that either listened to audiobooks or received no listening material. So it's not just that they have to listen to music, it has to be listening to music that they like. Yeah. So even if they played like music that was popular at the time, it wouldn't work as well as like the music that the subject actually liked.
But how do they know what the subject likes?
Ask friends and family.
It's like now I feel like I need to have a list of the songs I like in case I get a
That's why
stroke.
Spotify can never lose my data so that people can just like play it. But if you do get Alzheimer's, which may be common considering the aging population, some studies have shown that playing patients the music that they have a connection to can trigger positive memories that they might otherwise struggle to recall.
Right.
So here, self-selected music, so remember choosing the music that you like, was better at bringing back self-defining memories than experimental selected music or silent conditions. So that's why people are studying this. Yeah, so far the research is quite encouraging in that like this actually helps. So it's quite good. So it's not just like we can come up with like pharmacological ways to like help these people, but also like ways that
It's a multi-pronged approach.
Yeah,
they might not even remember. I mean, in the movies, that's how they do it. Like you play a song and they might not remember, but they just cry. Or like when you play songs to coma patients, at least in the movies, then they will like tear. I mean, I don't know how true this is, but maybe it works.
Yep. So that brings me to the end of, I don't know, any thoughts?
I did have a runaway thought and then I forgot it.
You need a song to help you remember.
Yeah, I need a song to help me remember.
Dun, 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 dun.
Oh yeah, oh my god, like that song just triggers like, oh, we're gonna start recording.
This morning, before we start recording, Amanda was like, I need a song.
Yeah, I need to, get in the mood and stuff. Yeah, anyway, so I hope you learned something cool today and yeah, do with the information what you like.
And as usual, follow us on Spotify and subscribe to our YouTube channel because it really helps us out.
You can also follow us on our social media, Instagram, Twitter or Facebook, and feel free to DM us any questions.
Alternatively, you can email us at thelabdoctors@gmail.com. We'll post all the links in the episode description so you can check them out. Thank you.
Bye, Amanda.